It's time for another achievement hunting video. To the people who have been begging for a Java Edition achievement video for what feels like years at this point, I finally did it. Sorta. In this video, I will be getting every Minecraft achievement in version 1.0. Trust me, I'll tackle the modern Minecraft achievements, advancements at some point in my life. Just not today. For those of you who don't know, 1.0 was Minecraft's first official release way back in 2011. It added brewing, enchanting, the end, hardcore mode, which I'm not good enough for, breeding, and apparently more according to the wiki. This was not the first version to include achievements, so you might be asking, why version 1.0? Well, your guess is as good as mine. Let's get right into the video. Minecraft 1.0 has a total of 27 achievements, which isn't very much, but is still quite a bit. I loaded up into a brand new world full of endless possibilities. I dramatically look at the camera like I'm Deadpool and then open up my inventory for my first achievement. I look around a bit at the achievement section and notice a few that stand out. When pigs fly, sniper duel, and on a rail immediately stand out, but we will focus on them much later. I commenced my tree punching and earned my second achievement, getting wood. After I crafted my crafting table for my third achievement, I began punching sheep as well as pumpkins, cause why not? I then scouted out a nice looking area for my future home. Trust me guys, the base is gonna be another banger. I crafted my pickaxe, made a sword, and made my first bed. I was forced to kill the surrounding wildlife because apparently just a 2-minute walk in the woods is enough to make me starve to death. But that's okay, because I got another achievement out of it. I mined some stone and coal out of this mountain and proceeded to upgrade my pickaxe, make a furnace, and make a shovel to flatten out the surrounding area. Needless to say, I went through a lot of shovels that day. After the first day, I watched the beautiful sunset and went to sleep, proud of my progress on day 1 so far. Instead of getting more achievements on day 2, I made more stone shovels and continued flattening the terrain. Trust me guys, this base needs to be built ASAP. Before I knew it, I had stacks upon stacks of dirt, as well as a bit of wood from the nearby trees. I find it kind of funny how you're only allowed to craft one wood type, despite there being oak, birch, and spruce trees growing everywhere. But that won't really matter. I went to check out the desert behind the mountain to see if I could find something cool, and after a while I actually found a village. But apparently I underestimated how old this version is, because the villagers there literally do nothing. They're like the Minecraft equivalent of the NBA dude playing 28 minutes and dropping 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 blocks, and 0 steals. The village is just kind of there, and the villagers are just chilling doing nothing. But that's fine with me. After stealing their food supply, I started running home. Halfway there, everything got darker and I was alone at night to fight all the mobs. I first fought a zombie to get Monster Hunter, and then just tried avoiding everything else, aside from these spiders. Cause well, the only real things I've got now are a wooden sword and a dream. On to the next day. After waking up, I finally began my first mining expedition. I started by locating some coal and then finding this cool cave entrance. It was pretty frightening with all the mobs at first, but everything was alright once I found my first bits of iron. After that, the cave just kept getting bigger and bigger. I mined every single ore I saw, even the colossal, chock-full, bulky, walloping coal veins. Maybe this is why Santa gives out so much coal. Despite the caves being quite shallow, I ended my first trip with 56 iron and nearly 2 stacks of coal. Wow, I did not realize I was gone for that long. All that iron meant I could get the Acquire Hardware achievement, along with some tools and armor. I also made myself a wooden hoe for another nice achievement. Dang, 11 already? Nice. Because I got so many achievements already, I decided to take a break and flatten even more of the terrain. This hill really needs to be flattened, guys. I then began making a bridge here to connect the hill to this even bigger hill where I'm gonna make my mine. This is when I realized you couldn't place wood sideways yet, but no biggie. I also realized that pickaxes are used to mine half slabs, so that's pretty cool too. I made a little pathway to where I wanted my house to be and began construction on it. I then started work on the mine, which I decided was going to be 3x3 blocks wide, because I like to work harder, not smarter. I used the cobblestone I mined to expand the house, which was coming along pretty nicely. Will this base be better than my Bedrock Achievement World base? Who knows? The process of continuously digging down was taking a ton of time, but I didn't really care since I needed cobblestone. And after some time, it was time to decorate the house. I began smelting some cobblestone into stone to craft into the smooth stone slabs. Or I can craft like 50 pressure plates instead. Anyways, with more resource gathering and home decorating, I finally had a nice roof over my head. Looking good already. We weren't exactly done just yet though. I decided to add some sandstone for the floors and added a little farm area to the side of the house, where I added some wheat, sugarcane, and cacti, because I can't quite get enough of that anywhere else. I proceeded to then make myself a loaf of bread for the bake bread achievement. After that, I completed the roof and completed my comically massive mining tunnel down to diamond level. I began actually mining for once and even found a cave with diamonds. Bam, another achievement. It was only 2, but we'll take it. I spent a little longer in the cave mining any ore I laid eyes on. whether it be iron, redstone, or even lapis. After the nice mining trip, I did some serious deforestation since I needed to clear out the area. It's okay though, I planted more saplings at the very least. I attached a little animal pen at the back of my house. I would come to regret this in a little while, and wrangled up some cows and sheep. I milked the cows and made a cake to get the lie. Another iconic achievement. The next few days kind of felt off. Definitely not in a good way. The tiniest inconveniences of 1.0 began to slowly annoy me, like how just walking on crops sometimes destroys them, and how I needed to crouch while walking on them. A creeper also nearly blew up the side of my house if I wasn't paying attention, so that startled me a little. Another thing that annoys me is how bad the food situation is. Yes, I have a cow farm, but I don't want to risk killing them all at once, and I barely have any wheat. So I decided to run to the village to steal all their crops, because it's not like those NPCs are using them, right? In total, the village has enough wheat to make me 4 pieces of bread, so I'm not sure if the trip was even worth it. Since Steve's fat, obese, chunky monkey of a belly requires me to feed it 2 loaves of bread per minute of moderate movement, my entire supply will be gone by the time I get back home. I still ended up taking some of the village's bookshelves for future enchanting, so I suppose the trip wasn't a total waste after all. I spent way too long getting back, since apparently I can't remember that my house is literally parallel with the village. It eventually became nighttime and I started by killing some endermen because I seemingly needed to think about the ender dragon for some reason. I went 1 for 2 on pearls and took my sweet time getting back home, surviving on rotten flesh. See, I told you Steve's hunger system is terrible in this version. The very next day, I embarked on another strip mining trip, this time finding a total of 1 diamond, till I found a pretty ginormous cave opening. Low-key, these caves scare me a little more than the caves nowadays. Seeing as I am a little superstitious, I mined every single ore block I could find, notably the iron, gold, and redstone, as I would need a ton of those for the on a rail achievement. And I mean, I literally grabbed every single one. You'll see later just how many stacks of iron I got, but everything was all worth it when I found my second diamond of the trip, yet another 1 vein. When Steve was beginning to feel famished, I began digging up to the surface, as I had lost my entire sense of direction and opted to end the trip. I emerged from the depths and saw that it was dark and rainy, and I began to die. After a frightening run-in with a spider and 2 creepers, I made it home, and I still had literally no food. I started cow killing, and before I knew it, I once again started dying from hunger. Steve, why are you being so dramatic, man? I ate the cooked beef and tried to relax, but couldn't because of the god-awful racket of the cows outside. Like, geez, man, they just wouldn't shut up. So to put a stop to that, I went out of my way to make a bigger cow pen 10 blocks away. I literally made my hill a little longer just so I could do that. And of course, we gotta add a path to it. Next thing I did was finally craft a diamond pickaxe and mine some obsidian, which takes way too long in this version, and eventually go to the nether. Cool. Add 1 to the achievement counter. Needless to say, I didn't spend a ton of time in there because the ghasts were already being annoying numbskulls. So we'll save the nether achievements for a different day. To remain productive in the overworld, I built a fireplace in my house and made a path to my nether portal. Afterward, I wanted to have a bigger farm since, again, Steve dies after 2 minutes with no food. I laid out a box area and worked on it until it became nighttime. That's when I realized my house was burning down. Yeah, maybe I could have done a better job making sure the fireplace was safer. I repaired my roof and made sure the fire was equipped with proper safety measures this time, even if it looks out of place. I then pillared up to see how my base was coming along and noticed one of the worst mistakes I could have possibly made. My cow farm wasn't symmetrical. So I went and fixed it, and it still isn't symmetrical. I eventually finished the area for my wheat farm and began adding the water and farmland. For now, it looks kinda sad with no wheat, but hopefully later on it'll thrive. You know what else is thriving? My cave expedition adventure. I mean, not exactly, I only have like 4 diamonds, but still, it's going great. I began strip mining and eventually wandered into a massive cave system where I found my first dungeon. This was a great thing. I could finally get my hands on a saddle for an achievement. Let's look in the chests. Wow, that's a bit pathetic. Whatever, I grabbed some mossy cobblestone and got out of there. I kept mining every ore I saw, and it actually paid off quite a bit, as I discovered these diamonds hiding behind this bit of iron. I kept mining away, getting every piece of ore I could possibly find. Everything was going great. I even found a second dungeon, this time with a saddle in the chest. Eventually, I dug back up to the surface and did some more farming, because food is still scarce out here. I then made a staircase to the top of the mountain across from my house, and I gotta say, it was worth it for the view. I then fell felt the sudden urge to mine obsidian, despite me being down in the caves not even 10 minutes ago. I used the obsidian to craft an enchantment table, knocking down another achievement. As we enter the enchanting era, I obtain another achievement. This time I got librarian for crafting a bookshelf, supposedly to improve my enchantment table. I enter the mines yet again. A semi-successful strip mining session turns into another grand cave expedition, with tons and tons of blocks continuously filling up my ever-growing inventory. I even find another mob spawner dungeon, with more saddles and mossy cobblestone up for grabs. The cave session quickly turns me insane the moment I realize I'm carrying around 5 stacks of coal. Guess I'm really preparing for an ice age with the amount of coal I'm logging around. If you're wondering why you got coal in your stocking this Christmas, just know it was from me. When I got back to the base, I moved my enchanting setup outside, where I surrounded it with tons of bookshelves. I won't enchant anything yet though. Now I begin flattening this area next to my base. I have no idea what exactly I'm gonna build yet. It might even be a complete waste of time, but I just don't want to get bored too fast, so I'll try to work on a cool building project to pass the time in between grind sessions. After the flattening, I took a little break to catch and cook a fish for the delicious fish achievement. I have no idea why it took me this long to catch a fish, but that's honestly how I roll. Once that was done, I laid out a circle with dirt as a guide marker. It looks way smaller than I originally thought, but I don't really care at this point. I replaced the dirt with some smooth stone slabs, add some stone bricks and wood in the middle, which separates the circle into 4 quadrants, and fill in the quadrants with dirt, sand, and even wood for some reason. I kind of have a biomes theme going on here, you'll see in a bit. I then begin making the exit tunnel for the beginning of a long minecart rail track, so I can finally tackle on a rail, which I will start in a bit. I added some small details to the mini biomes, including some trees, cactuses, farmland for one of the quadrants, and even a little pond. I also added some glass to the outside since I'm kind of going for a snow globe or dome shape for this thing. I then start the massive minecart track by crafting some rails, powered rails, and redstone torches. I extended the track into the desert, placing a powered rail strictly every 10 blocks for some reason, but I didn't get that far. After that, I had the thought of going mining yet again, and it would finally pay off, as you'll see. I started by strip mining until I eventually found another big cave system, which looked like a promising ravine. However, I didn't really find much. So I started digging another way and immediately ran into diamonds. What a great sign. I dug a little more and even found some additional diamonds behind this clump of iron. I continued digging, and not long after, I ended up finding another ravine, and I followed it until it led me to a cave. And this cave was the greatest cave I've ever been in, at least in version 1.0. My good luck began when I turned this seemingly solo diamond ore block into 4 diamonds. I then literally turned the corner and found 6 more waiting for me right there. I went from 5 to 15 diamonds in the span of 30 seconds. But it's not over yet. Fueled by a sense of determination, I explore a little more and find an extra 3 diamonds. I then find an angelic 8 vein behind me. This was literally in the span of 2 minutes. I will show you the entire clip just to prove it. If you guys want to play in this world just to see if this is true, go ahead. The seed is right here. And to make things even better, I actually found my way back home through the mines, instead of tediously digging up to the surface seemingly in the middle of nowhere. I now knew I had all the diamonds I needed, so now it was time to focus on the achievements. I just hope I didn't use up all of my luck right there. I had high hopes for the world once I had reached the diamond armor stage in the game, and I wanted to start enchanting. The problem was that I didn't have enough experience for a level 30 enchant yet, so I did the one logical thing and built a giant mob farm out of cobblestone. You've probably seen this design before, so I'm not really gonna waste your time. It took a heck of a long time to do though, and the farm didn't work as efficiently as I had hoped, but at least I sorta got a way to get to level 30 at a moderately fast pace. After building it, I continue my work on the glass dome, adding more glass and adding stuff to the interior. I then mass farm all the wheat I can so I can fill out my lower wheat farm. Even though the cow farm has been a consistent way of getting food, I still need as much wheat as I can. Later, I added more progress to the rail track into the desert, which is honestly coming along really nicely. And to finally get back on track achievement wise, I decided to grab my saddle and try the When Pigs Fly achievement. Before I recorded this video, the hardest part about that achievement was flying the pig off the cliff. But now the hardest part is actually finding the pig. I had to walk to the mountains of Mordor and back to find one stinking hog. It was literally an overnight expedition. When I finally found a pig, I trapped it in a dirt box and very carefully laid out a guarded pathway to fly this pig off the cliff. A while back, this European YouTube channel actually took inspiration from my beta achievements video and recreated it, and the way they got the pig achievement was actually an insane galaxy brain move by them, so I copied them. And by punching the saddled up pig at the edge off the cliff and then immediately getting on it midair, it was able to take fall damage with me on it. giving me the When Pigs Fly achievement. That was definitely the way to get the achievement. Even though the pig didn't die, I still had to put it out of its misery because I didn't want to be trapped on its back forever. Seriously, you cannot dismount pigs in this version. It took way too long to get myself back home, but during the night, I must say it was quite easy to spot. The next day, I got a ton of food and prepared myself to finally enter the Nether. As I got in the new dimension, I ran around mining glowstone and exploring. As always, I hit a nasty deflected fireball shot against a ghast for return to sender. It wasn't long after where I stumbled upon my first Nether fortress. There, I fought tooth and nail against these burning blaze fellas. Getting a blaze rod is also an achievement, so thank you very much for your fiery sacrifices, blazes. I spent a while carefully farming blaze rods until I had about 13. I was about to leave, but then remembered that I should probably look for some nether wart while I'm here. Unfortunately for me, nether wart is incredibly rare, and my fortress decided not to generate any of it. I literally had to find a whole new one, and even finding nether wart in that wasn't easy. But something seemed off a little. Everything was going too well for me. Too well. That's when the incident happened. Since I was at the second fortress, I had no clue how to get back. My sense of direction was at an all-time low. I knew the coordinates of the nether portals, so I did what anyone else would do and dug into the endless netherrack walls. It didn't take very long for me to lose focus and just cruise along, aimlessly mining. And like how the average nether experience for me goes, I ended up taking a huge fall. Before I hit the ground, I tried a last-ditch effort to leave the game, hoping I could load in and take no damage, but I couldn't even do that right. Believe it or not, this was my very first death in this world. Crazy, I know. It seems like a big nether-related death is a canon event in every single one of my achievement playthroughs, but this one might have had me stressing the most. I knew I died close to lava and didn't know how much stuff I could have lost. With my spare diamond tools and 4 stacks of dirt, I wandered around to where I thought I had lost my stuff. After a couple minutes of searching, I finally found my stuff. Luckily, I think I only lost my diamond boots and an iron shovel, so everything was fine. I'm just glad I'm not a hardcore YouTuber. Home sweet home. When I made my grand entrance into the overworld, it was nighttime, and wanted to start attempting the sniper duel achievement for killing a skeleton from more than 50 blocks away. I didn't really get any chances, but I will say that this achievement is a little cursed on this version. The next few days consisted of me extending the minecart track, killing endermen for ender pearls, and trying the sniper duel achievement. I even got the local brewery achievement in the middle of it. I actually ran out of powered rails one night and realized I didn't have any more gold left. I was like 98% done with the railway and just needed a few more rail tracks to complete the full 1,000 blocks. So to make up for the lack of powered rails, I made a giant minecart rail drop in the sky out of wood. It honestly looks sick if you asked me. After that, I trapped a skeleton in a wooden box and waited for the daytime so I could kill it with 0 distractions. But since I could not aim my bow to save my life, I made no progress. I felt like Sisyphus through the whole situation, getting nowhere with this achievement. But maybe it was just a skill issue on my part. After 10 minutes of shooting this guy, I finally got the kill shot I wanted, but no achievement popped up. I was confused. Apparently the achievement was glitched and didn't work in this version, but I didn't know that yet. All I knew was that I had a minecart to ride. With about 10 blocks before the track ended, the achievement popped up. I was so relieved because I was not trying to ride that thing all over again. I celebrated by trying to gain XP from my semi-useless mob farm, adding glass to my snow globe dome thing, and planting more seeds for yet another wheat farm. I then changed this wood area of the build into a nether/cave themed area. I personally think it fits better, however it still looks like a little bit of block vomit, but that's okay for me. A few days later, I finally completed the roof of the dome and the build actually turned out pretty well. I had a total of 6 ender pearls, so I turned them all into Eyes of Ender to look for the stronghold. Apart from the initial loss of my first ender eye, the journey went pretty flawlessly. I even bagged a bonus ender pearl. I found the location of the stronghold on this small island, and upon digging down, I was greeted with the portal room right there. Nice. There was already 1 eye in the portal, and I placed an additional 4 in the portal as well, so all I needed was 7 more. Actually, 6 more because of the pearl I got when I was exploring. We are nearly in the end game now. On my way back home, alone, I somehow bagged 4 more pearls. Don't Ask me how. The end was nearing, however I stopped focusing on that for a while, and instead added a little pathway around the glass bubble build. I don't know, I guess I wanted to make it look better. The next thing I did was try and enchant my diamond sword, since I just got to level 30. Enchanting in this version is a painful process, as usually you aren't given a level 30 option. So I spent like 15 minutes spamming the diamond sword until I got a level 30 enchant, and a lot of the time I actually passed over some level 30 options. It was painful, but after some time I finally got the enchant I needed. Smite 4, nice. I wanted the enchantment for the overkill achievement for killing a mob with a lot of damage, so I drank a strengthness potion I made and critical hit a skeleton for that exact achievement. I only had 3 achievements remaining, and only one of them wasn't a dragon related one. After several days of attempting the sniper duel achievement, I realized that it was actually glitched and didn't work on this version, so I updated it to version 1.1 and tried it out. It was actually nighttime by the time I got settled in the future version, so I wasted no time at all. I tried out my bow skills, but realized the real issue to the challenge was me all along. Nah, just kidding. I got the trophy almost right away, finally giving me sniper duel. The best part about this was that when I loaded back into version 1.0, the achievement showed up. It's like I had it this whole time. The very next day, it was finally the time. After my generational procrastination efforts, I, at last, had enough time and energy to defeat the Ender Dragon. I already had everything I needed, even the Eyes of Ender, which I had obtained pretty quickly. I prepared some potions, blocks, food, and a water bucket, and that was really it. My diamond armor was almost completely broken, but I knew this was going to be the last ride. After saying goodbye to my house, I went ahead and wandered off in the direction of the stronghold. It wasn't long before I found the exact island it was located below. Upon getting on the island, I looked off into the sunset and braced myself for this fight I had done dozens of times. Yet it was still nerve-wracking. When I entered the portal room, I placed some random items I didn't need in a random nearby chest, maybe in case I died. I then placed the 6 remaining Eyes of Ender in the portal, which made no noise upon activating, which was kind of awkward somehow. As I took the leap of faith into the darkness, I unlocked my second to last achievement. Nice. I was nervous, but then that nervousness quickly turned into confusion. I looked around to see all the end pillars, and they seemed weirdly out of place. Instead of the pillars spawning in a circle around the Bedrock Center portal, they were just kind of placed at random everywhere, with a Bedrock portal nowhere to be found. Was my world glitched? Nah, this was just 1.0. I had made sure to bring at least 2 stacks of arrows, since I was kinda trash at aiming, as you will see right here, and also due to the fact that the dragon camps in the sky 85% of the time. I shot all the crystals on the shorter towers pretty easily. It was just these Burj Khalifa-esque towers that were tough to shoot down. I tried building halfway up this tall tower so I could shoot another tower and kept missing. I even missed so badly that I shot myself off. Luckily, I placed water down there as a precaution. It was kinda that same process the whole time. Well, right until I stupidly got rid of my only water source block somehow. Even without the water, everything went fine. The hardest part of the fight was just being patient enough. I was just chilling right here with overworld Minecraft music playing in the background. When I delivered the kill shot, I watched as the dragon silently ascended into the heavens, giving me tons and tons of XP that I don't need now. Seriously, 111 levels? Anyways, I collected the dragon egg and then went to enter the portal. As soon as I did my sign off and went into the black void of darkness, I unlocked my 27th and final achievement. The end. Well, that's it. Those are the 27 achievements from Minecraft version 1.0. They were a little easy, but equally confusing and hard in some aspects. I know half of you guys have been begging for an achievement collection series on Modern Java Edition, and I'm really considering it now. Just know that it will probably come sometime in 2029 or something. I don't know, but it will probably take over a year to make. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Sorry I keep making you guys wait months for a video of decent quality, but anyhow, I like to say thank you for watching, and slap just slap out.